Minecraft Conquest Reforged video. I am the Kinder Knight, and once again we are back in the settlement of Roostonshire with another update video. And now, I know it's been a while since the last progress video, but over the past few weeks I've been really busy, so I haven't had as much time as I would like to come on here and do stuff. But we are back on track now with the next progress video, and as I mentioned in the last episode, my plans for today's video, we will be doing some work outside the walls of Roostonshire. We'll be adding in some farmlands and a few buildings, homes, storehouses, and barns. And basically just things that you would expect to find on a farm in the Middle Ages. And now here I laid out the plans for the first few buildings of the farm and kinda how I want everything to flow. Might I add, very Kingdom Come Deliverance inspired. And I know it isn't much to start with, but I just wanted to get something down, to get started with, and get those creative juices flowing, and just build on from there. And pretty much that's what I did, but unfortunately, a lot of my replay clips were lost, and so I don't have the time lapse for a lot of that work, and so I do apologize. But I hope you guys enjoy anyways, and can still take something away from this. And so I think I've talked enough, so I'm gonna go ahead and cue up the time lapse, and afterwards I'll be right back for the tour. So sit back, get comfy, relax, and enjoy the time lapse. Alright guys, we are back. Now, I know that went from A to Z pretty fast, but that panning shot kind of gave you guys an idea of what all I was able to accomplish here. And now, I'm going to take you guys around and give you a closer look at the farm. And so, the Roostonshire farm makes up or is responsible for over 80% of the crops, grain, and food resources. And so the farm plays a very important role and is highly valued by the lords of Roostonshire. And you can see the castle up there. And so the farm is located on the western end of Roostonshire. And so if you're coming from inside the town, you will likely use the west gatehouse to access the farm. And here we have a signpost to direct us to where we would generally be trying to head. And here we have our first very large field of wheat, which in Roostonshire is dubbed as the Fields of Gold for obvious reasons. Not only does the field mimic gold in color, but also it's probably worth more than gold to the Lord, because not only does it feed the village people, but also the Lord's family and his army and men at arms. And so I really tried to recreate realistic wheat fields, so you guys have to let me know how I did. And so we are going to move on, and over here to the right of our wheat fields is where we'll find the largest cornfield within this farm. And you can kind of see over that we have a scarecrow. I went ahead and added in lots of scarecrows in our fields because again, these fields are very valuable to not only our Lord, but to the people. It's where they get their food from, so we wouldn't want our crops to be ravaged by animals and birds. And here we have a well where our farmers can get some water. And then right over here is just a field of barley, very important for making ale and beer. So we're gonna go ahead and make our way through here and come to our first farmhouse on the tour. And as you can see, I went for a very rustic wood fill cabin, like what you would see in Kingdom Come Deliverance. Everything made of wood because that resource would be not only the cheapest, but the most plentiful. And I really have to say, I really loved how it all turned out. The flow of it, I think it works very well. I didn't get around to doing any interiors for the houses, so we won't be touring any interiors because I just didn't have the time. I've been working on this video off and on for the past 3 weeks, and I really wanted to get something out to you guys, so no interiors this time around, but I will continue to show you guys the rest of the farmlands and what I did with it. So over here, we have a barn or maybe a shed where we can keep some tools or grain. We have a cart right there where our workers are just maybe stacking in wheat or hay and such. And then over here we have a chicken coop where we would keep our chickens. And over here again we have some more storage area for our wood to keep our wood dry. Again, very Kingdom Come Deliverance inspired. And I apologize if it feels a little bit rushed. I'm just trying to make sure that we end this video in a decent amount of time and it doesn't run on too long. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next little field. And we're gonna go through these arch right here. And we're gonna make our way down this alleyway and into our next little field. And as you see, we have some beans growing, and our farmers and farm hands has already been harvesting it. Maybe this is the beginning of the harvest, so they're getting ready to prepare for harvest. And we have this big barn right there where we maybe pile up our harvest and wait to pay tribute to our Lord. And over here we have some cabbage fields. Again, we're harvesting our cabbage and we're placing them inside these barrels for storage. We have lots of cabbage, and again we have more beans, and as you see, we have been gathering and harvesting these crops. So that's that. So let's go ahead and move on to our next field. We still have a lot to go, so we're gonna go ahead and just keep it moving, so again we can finish this video in a decent amount of time. So we're gonna go ahead and move down this way, and then we come to our second cornfield. It's right here, and then we're just gonna go ahead and move past this. And then we come to these two fields way here in the back. They're kind of hidden. And if we go down this path, we have this little bridge so our people can cross when they need to get across there. So again, another field of barley with some scarecrows to keep away the birds and other little animals, critters that would want to come and eat our crops before we get a chance to harvest them. So we're going to go ahead and make our way through here and come down to where we have some lagoons growing. Not many, but we just have a few lagoons right here. And then we have some pumpkins. And what I tried to do with the pumpkins, I tried to connect them so they look like they're all connected with vines and kind of replicate what real life pumpkin patches would look like. So that's why it looks like that. So we have our pumpkin patch down there. And so we're gonna go ahead and move on. Just giving you guys kind of a perspective of how large the cornfields are. So we're gonna go ahead and make our way back. And I really tried to add in a lot of little details. Again, this is not 100% finished, but I wanted to add in like some carts around and add in some more just areas where there's maybe some overgrown grass when I get a chance. So anyways, we're at the second field of gold, our second wheat field. And as you can see, it's a little bit smaller than our main one, but again, we are in the business of wheat here in Roostonshire. It's one of the most important grains, and it probably makes up about half of all food resources here in Roostonshire. So very important. And I tried to add, if you guys can see, add little bundles, like our farmer and farmhands has been out there like just maybe bundling the wheat. Again, it's early on in maybe the harvest season, so the fields haven't really been cleared much, but we're gonna go ahead and make our way to the second farm, which is actually the first farm, the farm we built during the time lapse. And I wanted to save this for last because I added some stuff in the back that I wanted to just, kind of save for last. It's not done. I still have some terraforming to do to smooth out the terrain a bit. But again, I wanted to get this video out to you guys, and I felt that it was finished enough to actually have something to show you guys that'd be of some value. So here we're on the main farm, and we have a main house right here, and then we have a barn, a little area over here where maybe we can do some work or keep some animals, and then we have a shed right here where we keep some tools or maybe grain. And again, over here we probably keep some animals in that barn. And then over here we have a place to keep our wood dry, and of course we have an outhouse here. Whoop, let me go ahead and close. There we go. So we have an outhouse there. And if we come up here, we have a dove cove. Of course, I love to put dove coves in because I think it adds to the atmosphere. And then over here, we had a chicken coop that we just ran past. And I'm thinking about maybe adding some more stuff to this little area. I don't know, may leave it as it is, but we'll see. Maybe when I get around to it, maybe I'll make a part 2 to Roostonshire farmlands and kind of show you guys what the finished product will look like. So we'll have to see about that. And now the last area on our tour is what I wanted to save for last. I'm really excited about this and how it came out. It's still a work in progress, but I'm really happy with how it came out. And as you guys notice, all these bees around. This was actually something I wanted to add inside the walls of Roostonshire, but I thought it wasn't practical enough. So I thought, let's make it out in the farmlands. And as you guys can see, we have bees. And we all know what bees mean in the medieval ages. We have honey for making our meads and our ales, and also the wax for making candles. Very important, a very important resource, and as well as for its medicinal qualities. And so I really loved how it came out, where we have hives everywhere and we have bees buzzing. It just feels so alive in this little area. And yeah, so over here we have a little smoker where our beekeeper will come over here and he would, use the smoke to settle the bees and kind of pacify them, so it's easier to harvest that honey and wax without hurting them too bad. And as you guys can see, I've added in plenty of sunflowers and plenty of different kinds of wildflowers, so our bees have plenty of nectar to create that very valuable honey and wax. And so if we make our way over here, we come to these, I guess we can call them mother hives. This is where the majority of our bee colony resides, within the 6 or several huge hives, and basically during wax and honey harvest, the beekeeper would occasionally lose some bees, so he would want to replace the ones he lost, so our beekeeper would transplant bees from these hives to the much smaller hives when needed. And so giving Roostonshire a stable source of honey for making ale and mead, and wax for making candles and such. And so guys, that's pretty much it. That's all I have to show you guys today. I really liked how it came out, and again, it's still a work in progress. There's still a lot more work to go about to really bring this place to completion, but I hope you guys enjoyed what I did have and what I was able to show you guys. And so there you have it, the farms of Roostonshire. I've been working really hard on this when I had the time to. I've also been really inspired by other content creators' farms, and it really helped me better develop what you see before you. Again, it's still a work in progress, and there's still lots of things that need to be done before I'm completely happy with it, but I'll say it's definitely getting there. I plan to finish all the pathways, maybe add a few more buildings, as well as wildlife and domestic farm animals. And all in all, just better tie everything in together. But you guys, we are really moving, and for the next video, I still plan to add a charcoal burners camp somewhere. Also, I think that I'm going to have a part 2 to the Roostonshire farm, just so you guys can see the overall finished product of that. And though I haven't had a lot of time to work on this, I still feel like it came out great, and honestly, I'm really proud of the progression and the way it's tying in. And I hope I was able to supply you guys with some inspiration, as well as some ideas of maybe how to create or go about doing your own farm. And as always, if you guys enjoy this type of content and you would like to see more, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, turn on that red notification bell so you don't miss any future Minecraft Conquest Reforged videos, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the farm so far. It really helps. I really appreciate the interactions when you guys give it. It really helps out. It shows YouTube and myself that you guys really appreciate and enjoy what I'm doing. And it really motivates me to keep producing quality content as best as I can. Also, I thank you guys for taking the time out to watch my videos. It really means a lot to me that you would put the time aside from your busy life or busy schedules to enjoy my content. And so again, thank you. I appreciate every last one of you. This has been the Kinder Knight from Roostonshire Farm, and I bid you a farewell.